What's going on, YouTube? It's Dr. T stopping by for a quick word. So I wanted to talk with you about recommendations for successful reentry after jail or prison. For those of you who don't know, my doctorate is in education, and my research was on the recommendations to solve the problem of recidivism among African American males. I have my notes here just in case I forget anything, but I wanted to talk to you about this for a while, especially in the wake of all the news that's going on about inmates and them, being treated poorly and dying in the jails or prisons. So I wanted to talk to you about some recommendations for yourself or your loved ones to help prevent you or someone you know from going back. And it all starts with understanding the role of mass incarceration and how that plays a part in what's going on in today's society. So for those of you who don't know, the history of mass incarceration goes back a very, very long time. And a lot of our people are currently still incarcerated based on, these draconian drug laws that were put in place to, keep brown and black people in jail for longer terms than their other counterparts. Race definitely plays a part in the length of your incarceration, and a lot of policies, and again, these draconian laws. Like if someone who is white does the same crime as someone that's black, they do not get the same sentence. And it's important to understand the history of that and to know how that plays a part in what's going on. So now in today's society, we have to figure out a way to keep our family, our loved ones, our friends, and even ourselves, if we're incarcerated, home and not going back to jail so that they can't kill you. That's what's going on. A lot of people are, going to jail and they're not coming back home. And then the ones that are coming back home, what they do is called recidivism. It's when they go back and forth, back and forth. So recidivism is returning back to jail within 1 to 3 years of release. That's not good. Our prisons are filled with many people who are talented. They're very bright. Unfortunately, they've made some bad mistakes. In my line of work, this is my area of expertise. I work with people from all walks of life. My main population of people that I work with have been charged with, heinous crimes, murder, rape, sex offenders, arsonists, grand larceny, you name it. And I like this population and working with them because they are the hardest working population once they come home and there's a plan put in place. So today, I just wanted to discuss with you briefly about successful reentry and what that entails. So if you have time, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and then let's talk about it. Let's talk about a plan that can be implemented to help your loved ones stay home and stay safe and just get on a whole new track. So these are recommendations. This is not the blueprint. Everyone's situation is different. But the first part is the individual has to want this for themselves. If they're not buying into this, if they don't want this, if they got one more bit in them, meaning they want to go back and they don't want to change the cycle that they're currently on right now, it's not going to work. Everything starts with the individual who is now incarcerated and wants to develop a plan to have a successful reentry. And this is for an individual who has been released within 1 to 3 years of their incarceration date, okay? So the first part I'd like to discuss is family support. Family support is very important. Your loved one has been incarcerated for, let's say, a year or more. That's a long time to be incarcerated. You don't know what they're dealing with in there. You don't know how it's impacted their mental health. And family support is very, very important. Just imagine you having to fight for your life daily. Someone's telling you what you need to do when you're going to bed, when you're going to eat, when you're going to get up, when you're going to shower, and how that plays a role in your and you returning back to the community, and you don't have any support. You don't have anyone to turn to or any direction of, where to go. Not every prison or jail has a reentry program, which is, it sucks, But that's where you come in, where you can help your loved one navigate this reentry process. So the next part is supportive services pre-release and post-release. If you have someone that is coming home soon, within 6 months to a year, and you know that they have a mental health issue, look into seeking services so that they can meet with a counselor or a therapist so that they can talk about what their barriers are and discuss a plan for when they come home, how they're going to continue receiving those services. And post-release, once you're out, and some people leave with their benefits. Some people have the government insurance, depending on where you are. Here in New York, it's Medicaid. I don't know where what it is for everyone in these different states, but setting up services that would allow you to pay for mental health services or even substance abuse services. Let's not act like they don't get access to drugs in jail or prison, because they do. And sometimes they come out and they're not able to function without these drugs that have been in their system for a long period of time. The next one is education. While you're incarcerated, if you're usually incarcerated for a year or more, they require that you work. Some people are cleaning their living quarters. Some are doing, working in the lunch hall or whatever their assigned job is. But if you're in jail for a period of time, you're required to get a job. So your education plays a role. If you have a GED, they don't make you go to any like GED programs. If you got a high school diploma or GED, they don't make you go to any of those other programs. So you're allowed to go to work. So developing a trade, some people who are there long enough can start a trade. I know customers I've had have done electrical program or plumbing program, and the jail allows you to work while you're in the jail. On another video, I'll explain how you can use that and add it to a resume so that you can become more marketable when you return to the workforce. In college, a lot of our people in jail have a college degree. They just made a mistake. They got caught up doing something they weren't supposed to do, and that degree is just sitting there. So when they come out, there are opportunities. They can either further their education, because the laws have changed that they can go to school now and get financial aid. So that's another part of the successful reentry. We discussed treatment, mental health, and substance abuse, and housing. Can you imagine coming out and not having a roof over your head, and you have nowhere to go? That's not going to be an easy way to navigate. And so I just wanted to let you know that a successful reentry, the recommendation for a successful reentry includes having support from your family or loved ones, supportive services pre-release and post-release. That could be mental health, it could be substance abuse, it could be a therapist, psychiatrist, and education. While you're incarcerated or once you come out, connect with the career center or one of your local libraries or offices nearby, and see if you can, or even look into a school in your area and meet with the counselor to see what your educational options are, because education is key. Education will flip this situation around. You don't have to get a degree, but you get a trade. Trades are actually paying a lot more than people with degrees. You're actually fighting for positions against people who have these degrees. They're in debt, and here you come along with the trade that you've gotten while you were incarcerated. Now you're making more money. And housing is very, very important. So the last thing that I would like to say is that if you are incarcerated, or you know someone that's incarcerated, or you're home now, please develop a plan, because without a plan, we plan to fail. And I want to make sure that we are all successful. I'm tired of hearing about the murders and the harm that's done to our people in our community when they're incarcerated. So I just wanted to tell you, thank you for listening to the message this far. This is my longest video, but thank you for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I welcome any feedback. Okay, thank you. Bye.